BetOnline.ag.
Ghost Gaming and Luminosity are upon us, and, well, you can hear me, and not sure that you can see me. Oh, there we are. Boom.
Magic.
It is magic. It was one of my better party tricks. I was able to bring us back on air. And just like that, we are jumping into Ghost versus Luminosity. A matchup, well...
Super exciting, Trace.
I don't know how to say this the best way possible, but it could be, I think, a back-and-forth battle. Both teams seemingly could be towards the same caliber right now.
It could be. The most interesting part about this is Luminosity are currently in a position, if they do take this 1-2-0, they would go above SK Gaming with the same amount of maps played, which means that we potentially could see SK Gaming being thrown out of top 6 right now after this matchup. So a super interesting match for us to follow, and super interesting and important match for LG, obviously, to win this one, because they could potentially secure themselves a better position towards qualifying for Dallas tonight.
Which is a good thing, of course. Obviously, it's not a negative thing. But let's start the discussion with Ghost Gaming. There's been a lot going on within the camp in terms of one player that always comes to mind. But let's talk about all the other players surrounding Ghost Gaming right now. We can take a look at some of their action throughout the entirety of this season. Talk to me about this team, guys.
I mean, this team that started out to look, I guess, equally bad as Dignitas. The first couple of weeks, we didn't really give them any chances to do anything at all throughout the season of Pro League. But I've just been getting gradually more and more impressed, and on a positive note, really, by what Ghost has been able to do. Ever since they brought in VSA, that seemed to be like the game changer for that team.
Yeah.
They're just all of a sudden seeming to have a plan mid-game as to what they wanted to do, much more cohesion within the team. And that in itself was just such a massive stride for them that they actually started seeing results. We've seen them actually having a lot of really close games over the course of the season versus very good teams as well that you normally wouldn't expect them to really have a fighting chance against. Obviously, it hasn't always been off the back of, great team play and that kind of stuff. Some of those games have been off the back of the fact that Wardell has just been playing lights out so far this season. But we have had instances where the entire team has just shown up. Seb Rose has had better and better games towards the end of the season. And Seb, Stanley, and so on have all chipped in every now and again, had good halves, and had set them off to the right track, really. Done just enough for them to grab a few victories here and there.
Definitely, and as you said, been enabling Wardell to a level where we talked about him, maybe being a potential recruit for Cloud9 when they didn't know whether they had scheduled or not. Maybe that's a little bit too much for now, but he's been having a blast of a season, especially considering how it started for him only just 2 seasons ago when he first off was on. He was on Ghost,
Rogue,
and then he was on Rogue, and then he was back to Ghost within 24 hours.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
That was crazy. It's good to see that he put that behind him, and he's now delivering on the server. And in a case where you've been messing up like he has been in that scenario, it's all about putting that behind you and just speaking your true self on the server instead of speaking your true self in the community.
But this Ghost lineup in the name Wardell have become synonymous.
Yeah.
Regardless of all that little 24-hour, hey, I just had a little stag do. I just had to just take a little break away. That name Wardell. I mean, is it the only shining light there within Ghost?
I'd say towards the end of the season we've seen some more glimmers from the side. I think Sir Rosa has been playing significantly better. It's like 2 completely different players. Him at the start of the season, him I guess the last 6 games or so they had. And I think both Seb and Stanley have shown themselves from okay sides. It's too inconsistent right now to be like, oh yeah, this is going to launch into a new team or launch into new heights within Ghosts. But again, if they could have just copy-pasted the latter end of the season, they would have actually been pretty respectable in a respectable position right now.
Why don't we take a look at some of these performances? Perhaps understand what it is to be on Ghost Gaming. Talk to me about, I mean, I guess the numbers look a little bit closer for some of these games. Energy, it's an opponent nobody expected to come out guns blazing. Cloud9 not having the best of seasons. Well, and then Optic just going through roster changes. That's just what they do.
Yeah, but I guess they played versus Optic when they still had the lineup they were supposed to have for the rest of the season and so on. And again, kind of the inconsistent Optic shown through. You can see that with getting stomped on Train, which was their map pick in that game, and then barely scraping out Overpass. And a game that they probably should have lost as well. Same thing with the Cloud9 matchup. Multiple opportunities for Ghost to actually win both maps in that in that game. And versus Energy, we saw them barely lose out in OT versus Energy, who've definitely been like the surprise team of the season, and just an all-out positive. So yeah, I mean, some of those rounds go a different direction in favor of Ghosts. We could seeing them obviously with 3 extra wins, and that would have been pretty massive for the standings-wise. Not necessarily, you know, being in a regulation spot, but actually, you know, sniffing at playoffs maybe, considering how shaky the other teams have been.
What about Luminosity Gaming? Perhaps we start this entire conversation on the heels of what has been a roster adjustment. We're going to dive into that one shortly, but talk to me about the season they've had, because this has always been a team that we can talk about being on the fringe, on the outskirts. They made it to Pro League Season 6 finals in Unza, but where do they stand this season?
They took over a Renegade spot as being that team with a lot of potential without really driving it anywhere.
Yeah.
It was a team that I myself expected a lot more from this season, especially considering how they ended the last season at Odin's in the finals. They were playing some of the best Counter-Strike LG has ever played. They didn't make it to the playoff, but they were picking on all the big teams in Odin's and actually showing a very high level of Counter-Strike. Also at the ECS finals in Mexico, they did okay for themselves. So coming into 2018, we actually thought, I myself at least, thought that would be a team that we could count on, you know, constantly progressing, sort of like following the footsteps of SK Gaming, who also started out on that level, you know, but slowly but surely just raced in to be the best team in the world. Now LG have kind of stagnated in that progress, I would say, and it's been a little bit of a disappointing season for them overall.
Boom. And that is where I can interject with a little bit of a bump in the road, and that would be the roster change. The news has just come out. You can see the tweet loaded up right here. Steel and Zach, now Zach, formerly from Immortals, has worked, I believe, within the Brazilian community for a long time. Actually know him, really nice guy, great guys, alongside Steel as well. But we do see Cello and Apauka, they do exit Luminosity. So now, with that being considered, do we have a fresh breath of air within the Luminosity lineup?
I would say so. Again, Cello, as you mentioned, during the last season of Pro League Finals, Cello was kind of the revelation from this Luminosity team that made everyone kind of think to themselves that, oh wow, Luminosity are gonna take the next step. They're actually gonna, you know, tread into the boots, I guess, of Immortals that they left, and actually fill them nicely, because Cello was looking like the hot new talent out of Brazil. He hasn't really delivered all that much this season of Pro League. I think that's fair to say. And I think if you can get a player of Steel's caliber who, in my opinion, is too good for a team of Luminosity's standard as of right now, that's a massive get. Like we've talked about how we've seen some of these roster changes, you know, Ethan in for Energy, like all these kinds, like how that's significant upgrades for the better. I think this is, you know, probably the most optimal lineup change you could have had, considering the circumstances. If you're Luminosity, because you're getting experience, you're getting a potential in-game leader, and you're getting just an all-around very good individual player. Here's
what we can do. We can take a look at their past matches through the season and kind of maybe compare and contrast as to where they could stand now, perhaps, had they had this lineup at the beginning of the season.
I mean, the problem for them is you see all the splits. You know, splitting against Splice, not okay. Splitting against Complexity, not okay. Splitting against Rogue, not okay of a team of LG's caliber. And that's the biggest problem here, because they're also splitting against Liquid and splitting against SK, which is a fine result, but it's just been too inconsistent, and they pretty much only have had couple and train throughout the season where they could play up to pair with everyone else. So it's been a little bit lackluster for them and a little bit disappointing overall.
Disappointing overall is not the result that they're looking to have tonight. We're going into Train. That will be the first map here of what is the last series of the evening, and you got about 30 seconds to tell me who you think is going to win between Ghost and Luminosity.
Train has been one of the better maps for Ghosts throughout the season. I think that's going to make the game a whole lot more competitive, but in the end, I think Luminosity are going to take the victory.
I will echo that sentiment. I think Yell is going to have one hell of a game, and Steel is a fresh breath to this team, and he's, as you said, experienced and a great player overall.
He's probably had just enough time sitting over there on the bench or sideline, letting that sort of angst build up, like, hey, you know, get me in there, let me at him, let me at him.
He's back to a Brazilian team. He's a Brazilian guy, and he's proud of being a Brazilian guy. No, that's always great, and they have passion for the game, Trace. You know that.
Yes, I do know that. Thank you very much, Pimp and Halvor, but it is time to shift over to the guys who actually work for a living.
The B team.
And oh, man. Any retorts to that one before we leave you?
Not really, no, I just don't care.
Yep, same. All right, well, take it away, guys. Going into Train and have yourselves a ball.
Yes, Luminosity taking on Ghost. This is going to be a fun one. Early glimpse at the new roster. And we'll see what they've got here, Harry. What have you got?
Just bundles of excitement and joy in abundance. I'm very much, this is the hot game of the night, no question about it. This is the one that I've been waiting for, Jason. I am positively bursting with enthusiasm. And I tell you what, we're about to head into this. I've just requested a coffee to liven me up even more, which is both a good and a bad idea at this time of night. But here we go. They're going to try and get past Neckers, and Sabrosa does check it. And you feel like, you know, that could have been a pretty big play had they had, you know, Neckers gone unchecked.
I think the follow-up, this utility is taking far too long to get this out to hit this bomb site. I wonder if they're just going to go back towards ladder and try and fake it a little bit, but they've actually allowed the rotation to come in. 2 players in the site now set up to stop this, and it takes them so long to hit the shots, but look at Yell. Oh no, even he misses his opportunity, but Showtime is here just at the right moment. A flank is coming in, Stanley. Looks like PKL is watching for this exactly. The timing of when this push comes in, surely that kill is going to make Stanley want to move forward even more. They swing, and they take his head off. Sabroso with the Molotov. I don't think that's going to do nearly enough. They do have a kit. They can wait this out.
Yeah, the pressure's on. They know he's around here somewhere. He's going to peek on out. PKL is able to find the kill. Defuse comes on in. Showtime's going to get it. And yeah, I mean, I thought they'd done enough because they remember to check his 4 Neckers. And they found that man advantage. But then the utility takes a good 38 years to come in.
Yeah, it took forever, didn't it? It allowed far too much luminosity to rotate over.
Danny, you know, I mean, if you're Luminosity, you take that all day long. You just get handed the bomb site back. You know, that should have been a situation where the bomb goes down, it's 5-on-4, and you're locked out, right? Waiting for that utility to fade. But alas, that is not the way that it goes down. Ghost, they've gone for the buy here. You have to admire their confidence. Yell, you gotta love him. Oh, I love these buys. What's going on? Neckers is a Bison. That is great. Oh, I missed the Bison. Let's listen for the... Okay. Showtime's gone down. Luckily enough, they haven't checked the steal. That's a big way back in. He only manages 1. Let's listen for a gun that sounds like someone rapidly opening bottle caps. We won't actually get to see it. It's been traded out. And I'm kind of devastated now. Been really hyping it up.
Yeah, this is actually, I'm amazed. This is a terrible outcome for Luminosity. They might even just try and save these M4s. 2-on-3. They don't have the kits. Deagle's ringing out up top. They could get lucky there, but that shotgun goes down. Steel goes down in the site as well. Nothing went right for Luminosity in that round. I'm actually surprised. I'm assuming the reason that they bought the Bison, like things like the Bison, is because they assumed with the plant Ghost Gaming would buy in the 3rd round instead of buying on the 2nd here. But actually, Ghost uses the extra cash flow for some more nades. And is able to hit a pretty nasty hit towards that inner bomb site. So nice win for Ghost to even things out to return on the 2nd round. Did I just see you do like a fist pump because the UMP was saved?
No, because Wardell was able to get the Bison, Jason.
Oh yeah, the Bison.
I don't know. I think it's they've actually opted instead, because it is so bad, to invest in their own SMGs and not use the one that they get for free.
Yep.
That is heartbreaking. If I were to compare myself to any SMG, I am the Bison. Well, here we go. Wardell, he's going to fall straight away. That's a nice kill. I actually found my Neckers, putting one of those only rifles they've got to good use. And now, man advantage up in favor of Luminosity. They can afford to kind of start to peel off a bit. They're going to keep 4 players over here in A. Showtime lies in wait in the B bomb site, all on his lonesome. I mean, I know the Bison isn't great, but really buying your own UMP, that is just like dramatic at that point. We get it. You don't want to use the... Okay, this round's gone very, very wrong. You know, Neckers in with a 2nd. Big kills from him. Steel going to go out and retrieve himself an AK, and as they kill more and more of these Ghost Gaming players, they're going to be more better equipped, rather, in their arsenal. Yell going to drop out Seb. It's all on Visa, 1v3, and he's so often highlighted as someone who, when he joined this Ghost Gaming roster, kind of brought a wave of change with him. Well, now he's got to bring a wave of destruction away at Luminosity. He has the bomb down. 1v3, able to find the first onto Neckers. Now a man on the rafters. Visa's gonna find him as well. Does get finished off by PKL. But oh, you start to believe there for a second. You start to believe in Visa that he can find that round. Sadly, Defuse going to come on in, and Luminosity, they will manage themselves a second.
Yeah, well, actually, that's actually very well done from Visa, though, just to take the guns away, to not let too much money, you know, blow up. There's going to be a lot of reinvestment. I wouldn't even be shocked if we saw a buy at a Ghost Gaming. They can have 2 players who get AK-47s, even an AWP if they wanted to go that risky, and have some pistols around it. So Subrosa has an AK. Visa's going to go for the AWP. And now we're going to see the buys coming. Actually, Visa drops the AWP over to Wardell, so that's a nice high five for the teamwork. And it's 5 M4s on the board, and this could catch Luminosity off guard. Wardell has an advantage in this round with no one expecting an AWP to be out, with no AWP to challenge him. And a scary situation for Luminosity to be in on the defense.
Oh, they're going to flash steal. Out from Pop. Showtime isn't aware that Stanley's gotten so close, and that is a grave mistake. Showtime's going to come to regret that. We might see this go back and forth again, Jason. I don't think we're done. Yell's going to be able to open up. Wardell quickly answers back. There's his retort. Now he's going to be tagged down by the players progressing through connector, but Seb's gone aggressive. He has Stanley there with him. Visa's going to go to paint up steal. Actually fall, and now perhaps over-aggressing a bit. Stanley trying to pull this round back. 2 versus 2, and Wardell tagged that much lower. Stanley has to win this fight, and he does not. Now it's Wardell back against the wall, man up above him. He's got so many angles to keep an eye on. Yell's able to find it. Defuse comes in. No kit? Do they not have a kit?
I think they got it. Yeah, they have plenty of time for it. Nicely done, Luminosity. That looked very suspect, but they've got to be worried. You know, looking at that defense at the inner bomb site and saying we've almost lost a couple rounds there. Now we did lose the second round at that inner bomb site. I believe it's Showtime and Steel that we've seen holding it on the initial defense at the very least. That's got to be better for each of them. 3-1. We're going to get a pause coming out in the match. So we don't have the craziness of traded rounds back and forth, at least not for too long.
Yeah, I can handle when it happens like once, or maybe even twice. But when you kind of start to hit the 3 or 4 times, you just wonder, what even is life anymore? And thankfully, we don't see that. So yeah, 3-1. Luminosity managed to maintain the lead. I think there are some serious questions, though, when it comes to that inner hold. Luminosity, of course, losing that a few times now. You kind of feel like Steel. I think it was Steel, or maybe Showtime. It was Showtime who was playing close to the ramp in that round. He was holding the corner in a very odd way, and it just allowed Stanley to kind of walk, hug the left side of the ramp and go undetected, right? Which is a pretty big blunder to make. So hopefully he doesn't take up that position once again. And finally, Ghost, they just have to go ahead and submit. They've gone for a bit of a partial buy. I suppose it's the benefit of getting the bomb down is that they can field something into this round, although it isn't that much in comparison to what we've seen them have in the previous couple. And this is a chance really for Luminosity to try and build some money. They want to keep this round clean if they can.
Well, we'll see if they're able to. Stanley's tagged down, and that's a good couple of kills there from Luminosity to start things out. 5-on-3, and definitely with this much of an advantage, you should not be losing too many players. Molotov in the choke point. A lot of crosshairs aimed at this very location. Seb and Visa, the last 2 left. Flashbang gonna hold him at bay, at least for the moment. This is actually a pretty dangerous angle for Yell to take. It's a narrow corridor for those Deagles to chime in, and Yell's actually getting aggressive, almost overly aggressive, and the smoke is gonna force Seb away, so a little more time on this. And actually, that's a nice little Deagle through the smoke. And this is why you just don't want to mess with it whatsoever. There's always this element of danger to this. There is PKL flanking up through Ivy all the way down. But it might not even matter. I think Seb is going to go down any minute here, though he does grab 2 more. That can't happen. That's actually the disaster for Luminosity.
Also, I just received word as to why we had that pause just moments ago.
Okay.
And it was because Yell spilled water all over his mousepad.
Nice.
Yeah, so I guess Steel wasn't the only one coming from Liquid.
That's awful.
That is terrible, but I love it. look at this round. Wardell has an AWP, and that's always a good round, in my opinion. He's going to be taking that over towards main. Showtime, Yell, and Steel. 3-man presence in this inner bomb site. That is fairly unusual, so maybe we're going to see some aggression come out. Something to justify having these 3 players here early on.
You got to do something. You can't keep that stack the whole time, especially if there's no presence. If there was some kind of utility being thrown, you could justify it, but this is putting so much pressure on PKL and Nekiz. Now look, Showtime going to start pushing up as everyone else rotates back. Showtime can have a very quick cheat towards the top of this ladder. There is one player there still. The timing of it is going to be near perfect. That's the bomb down, but he can't fight. He can't hold it. He's just got to dip away, and that nade does great damage onto Sabrosa.
Stanley's creeping on in it through Ivy. There is a man keeping an eye on it in the form of PKL. Who wins this fight? PKL locking down the angle. Stanley does have a smoke for one of these angles. He's going to clear out the left, and now they could just smoke off this right angle, but no, they've allowed PKL to take the fight, and he's going to go ahead and do that, take it in his stride. 2 big kills from him as Wardell and Stanley both falter. It's Visa and Sabrosa left alive, and PKL, the triple from him, the hat trick, means Luminosity will find themselves a 5th round. Ghost Gaming trailing behind. They've only managed 1. Pause going to be called on in. And it's a tactical timeout for Ghost, I think justifiably so.
Well, we did mention that Luminosity couldn't keep that stack up for very long, and they find a very nice timing to go for that push when there's just a little bit of pressure being applied outside. Showtime does a phenomenal job. Gets the kill, even though he's brought down low, makes the smart decision, backs away immediately. That even the follow-up nade he throws as he retreats does massive damage. So, really good hold for Luminosity. Now towards Ivy, it's just straight up holding an angle, a couple of dry peeks into it. 5-2-1 as Ghost Gaming is going to be back onto the Deagles and the CZs. Trying to figure out how they want to find an opening moving forward. In the past in this season, we've mostly watched Ghost having to rely on Wardell to be the creator of opportunities on the T side. And on a map like Train, you have to hope that isn't going to be the case, that more people than Wardell will be able to get involved.
Well, there's Nekiz to start. See, one thing, yeah, I mean, you kind of need more than, for Ghost, yeah, you need more than just Wardell. And it feels like recently we've had that, right? It feels like we've kind of had, you know, Seb stepping up. We've had the rest of the supporting cast coming through. Sabrosa, I think, starting to show off some of the potential he has. Even Stanley, since I think they fixed, because I think there was like a time he was living with one of the guys in like the basement. I don't know. It's just a really like messed up scenario to be in, right? He's like playing on a really old computer, you know, like down in the basement, proper basement dweller like level of living conditions, which just isn't good. And I think now that's all sorted. I don't know. Maybe it's not, but
you'd certainly hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you definitely would. Especially, you know, you've moved halfway around the world just to live in a basement. I can't confirm if that was like the definitive living condition, but it was something along those lines. Maybe a hallway. Who knows? Like, neither of which is a nice place to be.
You just became Harry Potter real quick.
Yeah, under the stairs. Actually, I've had to stay in an accommodation like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's just awful. It's not a nice look.
All right. Well, Wardell's got his op now, so we'll see if he can provide anything for him. That's over towards Ivy. That 3-man stack again towards the center bomb site. Similar scenario as well. It's been here for a little bit of time, and at a certain point they're gonna have to bust it up, and they make the call right now. And again, the timing of it is just perfect. Right when Visa turns around, he's gonna be so frustrated. I don't know if Showtime will be able to get away with that too many more times in this half. Now Stanley in his little closet, as he doesn't clear to the left, which is PKL's cubby. Flashbang going to be coming out as well, and another good advantage for Luminosity in this round. Molotov could help him retreat and back away slowly. Utility and all the other follow-up choke points as well means he can't be punished.
Yeah, this round has gone pretty bad for Ghost, and they're going to try and win it out now on aim alone. Seb and Wardell, two of the big-time players left for Ghost, and Wardell once again doesn't check the close angle. PKL gonna be with a second. You can't keep letting him find those kills, and Seb finished off at the end. Luminosity getting up 7-1. Ghost still yet to really show any signs of life. Doesn't really feel like we've had to say any of their names all too much. Kind of feels like it's been a pretty quiet game from everyone thus far.
Yeah, they seem pretty stumped on this T side of train, which is
Also,
a shame.
Sorry, just to note, PKL's 13-0. So
it's not bad at all, is it? 13-0. Meanwhile, I think most people in Ghost are right around 2-3 kills. They're going to pick up the pace towards this outer yard, see what it nets them. Nekus is close up with the AK, and he's actually coming through his own smoke, which is just mental. I don't know how or why he's done that, but he got completely lost inside of it, and Yell has a lot of pressure put on him. Misses a shot. Seb, excuse me, that's Visa. Not Seb whatsoever, but Seb is going to be pushing up towards E-Box, and looked deadly for a little bit for Luminosity, but they eventually rotate over and shut everything down. PKL still deathless.
I just had the worst thing ever happen to me as well. You'd recall, Jason, I bought up, I was going to get a coffee, and I was really eager. Like, it looks really good, but I'm just not that keen on coffee, right? Like, I always think they look nice, but I don't think they taste that great. Okay. But also, like, I had a big old mouthful. I was eager to get the caffeine boost. And my God, it was filled with the hottest water I've ever had come in my mouth. In my moment of panic, I couldn't find the cough button, the mute button. So I just had to sit there and suffer in silence. It was awful. Some sort of torture, perhaps. Well, Showtime's going to burn one out. Steel helps him out. Stanley, with the CZ, has to now go back for the bomb. And this round, you can't help but feel like it's kind of perhaps already over. They do manage to flash themselves up ramp. And there we go. Wardell going to find Neckers. So they're definitely in with a chance. Stanley, 1 versus 2. He's got Yell and PKL. Two very, very hard hitters for Luminosity left to try and overcome. And it's all eyes on Manly Stanley. Once this man lived in a basement. Now he wants to try and live up on the podium. On V2, 50 seconds left on the clock. He's going to start to make his way in towards the A-bomb site. And he's going to get the bomb down for free. Yell and PKL are both very far away from this, and if he can find the engagement with Yell, then maybe this is possible. He's going to go back-to-back with Yell. Stanley, so many angles to keep an eye on, and he just manages the timing to sneak away from Yell. This does not leave him a very good angle there to take the fight with PKL. PKL's going to win it. Defuse comes on in. Luminosity onto a 9th round. PKL still yet to die, 15-0.
He's got 16K. Everyone on Luminosity before the buy is over 10,000. So it's been dominant. You can see there's just too many players. Not enough kills coming out for Ghost Gaming. 3 on Stanley and Wardell, 4 on Sombrosa and Visa. Seb, the top fraggers at 7. That's just not good enough, quite obviously. Op is back out in Wardell's hands. It'll be interesting to see what Ghost does, because at least that round they kind of went back towards Inner. We saw him do that earlier on in the half and find some success. They're at least at one point in a 2-on-2, and if the bomb hadn't been dropped in the box halls, they might have had a fighting chance. So it will be interesting to see how they decide to go back. Again, this triple stack, and we'll see if Luminosity sends Showtime on a scouting mission. He's done it twice. He's gotten away with it twice. I can't imagine a third time coming in. There's the shot. Showtime not able to spin in time. I very rarely see that setup have success, but at least Steel finds the equalizer from up top.
So this is a shot for Ghost. Probably one of the best we've seen them have. PKL on the bomb train. A man that right now looks immortal. Can they find a way to deal with him? Wardell holding the angle. Forces him out. Second kill for PKL. He's going to go back in for more stands in the fire and the flame. And he's going to be tagged up, but not finished off. And he's not dying. He's unfaltering. PKL 17-0 right now. He is a beast. Luminosity going to go up 10-1. And while the buy can come in once again for Ghost, that is kind of the one silver lining they've got. It's a pretty dire affair at this point in time. Nothing's working, and as far as they're aware, PKL can't even die anyway.
Yeah, he's immortal. He is a god. Smokes Molotovs out into the choke points, making sure nothing fast comes out from Ghost, and a good opening kill. And look at this position Steele's found himself in. Showtime's going to stick around. This is a dirty off angle. He's going to swing out. Yell finds one. Steele only able to get Seb, but Visa's brought down low to 35 HP, and still a 2-on-4 for Ghost. And this just happens so quick. There's no chance for even recovering into the round. Visa's got to go all the way back towards T-spawn, towards the main choke point to pick up the bomb, but that's almost a futile gesture, as he's got to find so many kills and so much distance to cover before he even gets to the bomb site.
Yeah, this is pretty rough. This is pretty rough for Ghost. That's for sure. You know, what do you even do? They've gone for the infamous double Galil, double AK UMP buy. They've got utility. That's one thing to go off at least. And it looks like we're just going to see a play out towards A. Stanley and someone else throw a smoke in and actually spot the other. I think it was Visa. And yeah, just fantastic utility usage from Luminosity to delay this push. Already 2 Molotovs going into the choke point over at main. Neck is holding close. Only manages the one. Here's PKL. Steele and Yell, they combine for 2 between them, and PKL still holding his ground. Now going to start to aggress forward. He's dropped one. It's Visa. Now they know that PKL does bleed, and Visa's in with a second, but Showtime is there to trade. 12-1. Orp carried forward. Damage done. Probably the closest we've seen Ghost come to getting around in quite some time. And now they know that PKL isn't the immortal man they thought he once was. Maybe we see them find some success in the coming round.
I don't know. 1 death in 13 rounds seems pretty immortal to me, all things considered. Took a lot to get him there. Only 18 kills in the guy before he falls down. Here comes another triple push towards the inner bomb site. This is about the 4th time we've seen it during this half. Almost a third of the rounds. Yell. Gonna get set up with the AWP. It's a different style of a triple push. That is the bomb as well. It's going to wander out, and actually, there goes PKL. He died once, and now all of a sudden the floodgates are open. They're trying to split towards the inner bomb site. It's Yell who's all alone here. The smoke is going to be down. He's going to no-scope Seb. Going to go for more, and he finds it. Somehow he's gotten creative. Close up on that lower ramp. A 1 versus 3. We've seen Visa almost win a couple of these before, though. He's got some very nice aim. This time, can he put it to good use? Down to 37 health. He's been chipped away. 2 HP left. And surely, I don't think this is possible. Oh my lord, he's done it again. First up top and finds Nekus as he flicks down, but Showtime has his number. And once again, he's put down, but my lord.
Visa is like the king of the almost clutch, which, you know, sadly isn't
anything to be happy about.
Yeah, I mean, his efforts are fantastic. If only he had like one other person helping him. Look at him, he's 10 and 13. Seb, of course, the next highest, 9 and 14. Oh, it's pretty grim though. 13-1. Luminosity potentially staring at the barrel of a 14-1 half. Ghost, they've got a bite. They've got rifles across the board. Utility on all the players this time around, which does make a difference because we've seen them be pretty strapped in that regard. If I see one more of these triple stack pushes in towards the B-bomb site work, I'm just gonna. Actually, I'm not gonna say it because it will just happen, and then I have to do something unpleasant.
Ghost won the 2nd round of this half, and they haven't won anything else.
No, they have not.
That's wild, isn't it?
It's unreal, especially because in that 2nd round, I was like, "Oh, okay, we got a game on our hands." You know, they look pretty good. They just stole around, you know, with only like, well, they like cobbled the buy together right there, like the AK and stuff, and it was just like, "Oh, okay, that's a nice ballsy play." And since then, they've been pretty whipped. PKL and Neckers, yeah, they've already dropped 7. Sabrosa, Wardell's now dead as well. Visa and Stanley left alive. This is just a slaughter. And there we go, 14-1. Jason, quick question to you. How many players do you think have below 50 ADR? Fun quiz for Ghost.
4, I'll say.
4?
I think 4.
4. Okay, let's wait and see. This is good. The suspense is killing me. And I'll tell you what else is killing stuff. PKL, he's been on fire in the first half. He looked absolutely unreal. Did his first death at the round 13. And I believe he's top of the board for kills as well to make matters that much more impressive.
Yeah, he must be. He's been involved in a lot of action, which, yeah, that does make it more impressive, because it's not like he's just been sitting back not doing a whole lot. Looks like we don't get to check your stats there, Harry. I'll see if I can pull it up quick on another website.
There you go, right. While Jason's hacking the mainframe, we can take a look at this pistol round.
It's only 3.
3 players, so Sabrosa, Stanley, and Wardell beneath 50 ADR. Pretty bad that Wardell's down there. He's the one man that we always say is, you know, the star player of this Ghost Gaming roster. Having him have struggles is going to really limit how successful you can be. The pistol around here is, to say it's like necessary just feels insulting to people watching, because
we can put it go another way. I think the pistol round is kind of useless if Ghost wins it. I don't see them rattling off 14 rounds in this half to get to 15, even, much less, you know, 15 to win it all. So even if they win the pistol, I think this map is pretty much all sealed up. This slow-paced duel against these pistols is not going to work out too well for Luminosity, but now they're starting to get some of the trades, and they can start leading the way through the smoke. Seal grabs one more. That's aggression towards the inner bomb site, and they're going to split towards B, and they've got exactly what they want. This is so intriguing. One player gets through, that's Seb, but he's going to be the only player at this bomb site. The rest of his teammates are kept honest by the pressure outside, and they're kind of confused how they want to rotate, how they want to handle this. And Seb, not able to land the headshot there, finally on a neck as it's a 3-on-3.
Ooh, Sabrosa. Kind of all eyes are on him there to try and make that possible. Plant will go through. Now Stanley's already wrapped around from behind. He's going to get rid of Showtime. Actually, it's Seb to find it, but now PKL and Steel left alive, and PKL's in the back. Has to win this first fight, and he does. Maybe even a second, as now he's locked in the 1v1 with Stanley, but Stanley's going to do it. Defuse all come in and Ghost. They get themselves the second round. They win the pistol. But now they need to go on a massive 13-round run to get to match point.
That pistol round got real ugly. That flank coming in from Ghost slowed things down, pressuring into the bomb site, and once Luminosity actually got to the inner bomb site, they couldn't really secure it, which is so interesting because they, seemingly looking at the minimap, had a Ghost Gaming beat on that kind of a rotation. So, good recovery from Ghost. 2-14. And they've got to survive the Deagles.
I can't believe that Yell is playing this well with a damp mouse mat. I've only just taken that into account. Like, if I get, you know, like a thick layer of dust on my mouse mat, I get tilted. You know, I couldn't play with it while it's soggy. That is just awful. Have you ever done that, Jason? You ever had to try and play with a soggy mouse mat?
I have never played with a soggy mouse mat.
It just doesn't work. Because suddenly, what was once your friend, you know, was once your ally, the nice, easy drift. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But yeah, it just, you know, it becomes like a swamp. Here's Visa. Ooh, 3 kills, maybe even a 4th. No, he tries to do it. He can't complete the sequence. Would have been nice. 3 is enough though. And Stanley and Sabrosa are going to lock in a 3rd round for Ghost at the end. 3-14. They need 11 more to pull it back to 14-14. Go all tied up with Luminosity. They need 12 to get a match point, 13 to win. I can keep the maths coming all day.
Well, here we go. AK's on the board, light on utility, but I mean, with the way that Luminosity's been shooting, they should be able to get some kills in the heads-up duels. Look at the aggression from Ghost as well. They're not going to slow down. Nekus is prepared. He spots the shadow as well. The pre-fire. There's Sabrosa. He's traded off as well. That backfires in a big, big way. And the tough part is, as we mentioned a couple times, Ghost just doesn't have the rounds to kind of risk that sort of thing. And Steel is just going to embarrass Wardell and Visa. This round's all over. It's a 1 versus 5 for Stanley, and he's still in spawn, just chilling.
Yeah, the one thing that was weird for me here, Jason, I want to hear your view on this, is Ghost Gaming, they went for the bonus round, which, in their position...
Listen, Harry, it really doesn't matter. They could have gone for the full buy. They still would have got banged out in this game.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, Ooh, Stanley. Still 4 more to find, and he will find none. 15-3. It's kind of turned out not how I thought it would, because this is not the scoreline I expected. Like, I thought it would have been close. I pitched Luminosity winning. Well, maybe not close, but like just not this. Anything but this. But
it's tough because we talked every time when Ghost comes up, we always talk about like with the eye test, like they seem to have improved at certain points during the season and like taking a step up. And now you kind of see this, and like you know you just can't argue with the results overall. So certainly, probably a combination of things, but definitely a very bad evening of Counter-Strike for Ghost so far.
Especially because like I remember reading like an hour or so ago that like not Ghost, Luminosity, sorry, lost to like some team that I've never heard of in
one of the qualifiers.
Yeah. And then like, you know, so they come into it, you know, already kind of not feeling too great, because I think they also just lost to NRG in something else. And they come into this not feeling too great, and they've just completely annihilated Ghost. It is, I say it like it's all said and done, and that's because it is. There's 2 players left, Seb and Sabrosa left alive. Normally I would have faith in Seb and Sabrosa, but it's kind of been shaken. It's been really tested in this matchup. Now Seb's coming in on the flank, but he has to find 3. And that's an awkward fight to take. They know where he is. He's got to go through a smoke. There's so many things stacked up against him. And as good a player he is, this just feels impossible. Luminosity, they've gone ahead and done it, I would imagine. The bomb's down, it's ticking away. 16-3, who'd have thought it, Jason?
Yeah, this is phenomenal. The only round that Ghost gets in the last half is the second round, and then they just get blanked. Not a good offense, obviously. Not really bringing anything to the table, and everyone's struggling at an individual level as well. So all those factors combine into the most one-sided games we've probably had all season. And if you're Luminosity, you're gonna take that all day long as you're kind of fighting down the stretch to get that 6th seed into the playoffs, fighting against your brothers from SK. So we'll have to see how that pans out in this final week of ESL Pro League. Regardless, we're going to go to a break, and stay tuned. We're going to have the analyst desk to talk that one over if you need any explanation of the beatdown.
Incendiary out.